Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of Dismal Disney. We haven't done Dismal Disney, I guess, in a couple of weeks. I don't think we've talked about the theme parks in a couple of weeks.
The upcoming daily dose of Disney getting their butt kicked.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Epic Universe. We're going to talk about the amazing reveals of some of the animatronics. I guess they're doing previews now, and it's going really
cast
well.
member previews are starting. Yeah,
And
team member.
You can't call them cast members.
No, sorry. I
TM.
apologize to all you Universal people.
They're like, no, don't call us cast members. It's
sorry, force the habit. Team members.
It's like calling them employees or something, right? They're family.
I apologize for any insult.
But yeah, it's going really well. The media is buzzing about Epic Universe. It's so weird to see the juxtaposition, right? Everybody's pumped about Epic Universe and everything that Universal's doing. And then you compare that to what Disney is doing, and Disney is absolutely positively on the decline in the theme park space. Like honestly, I'm looking at the Disney parks now, and in the entire time we've been going, they're in the worst state I think they've ever been.
Well, I don't know if ever, but like of recent year. Well, be careful. You're going to get accused of only jumping on the Disney hate train now.
Oh, right. Even though, yes. And we're going to talk about this because some people are pointing out on X that they're actually blaming Disney influencers and travel agents and mommy bloggers for pumping Disney up, even when it was very obvious they were declining. And for those of you who are new to the channel, this is what we did full time for a couple of years. We basically were theme park bloggers, and we went to Disney all the time. Like we were
Got
there,
the media access and everything else.
Oh yeah, the whole thing. Everything that some of these salty people want, we had. And yeah, then there definitely was a change in attitude. I would say about right before the pandemic, things definitely changed, but the decline is real, guys. We've got we're gonna pull up a couple tweets from a former Imagineer who's like, yeah, pretty much everything that Disney used to do, Universal's doing now. We train them, and then Universal poaches them.
Yeah, pretty well. Not even poaching. I mean, some of the first batch that did like the Wizarding World initially.
Yeah,
it was the ones that they fired.
Yeah, so the story behind Islands of Adventures, that was mostly, I believe, Disney Imagineers who got gone, and when they were doing their layoffs, and a lot of them just stayed at Universal. And honestly, I mean, Universal kind of used to be like, okay, it's like a one-day park. We'll go, if we have time after we go to Disney. But now it's become a destination because of Wizarding World, and now because of everything going on with Epic Universe, with Dark Universe, and with Nintendo especially. It's going to be a destination. Yeah. So Disney better watch out. Let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You will get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Once again, guys, if you're not getting notifications on YouTube, go to clownfishtv.substack.com and sign up there, and you'll get notified every time we post a new video. So let's take a look at the animatronics for Dark Universe, which is their Universal Monsters area. And this is coming from Disney Drew, I guess. Disney Drew here, Drew Smith. And this is pretty freaking amazing. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
Now,
it's very impressive.
Because people thought that the Universal Monsters, the animatronics, were CGI when they had the teaser for it, and they're not. Now, the people that are getting previews right now, I guess that they're not allowed to film anything. They can't really talk about it.
No.
But I mean, this is incredible. The only thing I'm worried about, I gotta tell you, are they going to break?
Yeah,
they're very complicated.
That's true. They're very advanced. It's very possible.
And
they're cool when they work, so hopefully they stay working.
Right. So yeah, according to Drew Smith here, okay, so he can confirm that Monsters Unchained: The Frankenstein Experiment is not only the best attraction at Universal Epic Universe, but also one of the best attractions ever created. He's not exaggerating.
No, that's what I'm hearing as well. It's incredibly impressive, incredibly unique.
Universal Creative delivered an experience unlike any other, telling an incredible story before you board the ride. I guess the pre-show has Frankenstein's monster in it, so that's pretty cool.
12 foot, I think. 9 feet.
9 foot,
tall.
800 pounds. The pre-show is an attraction on its own with multiple jaw-dropping moments. When you board the ride and head into Frankenstein's Manor catacombs, you enter large-scale physical scenes. So it's not all screens. There's some of the most impressive ever created by Universal Creative. Digital media and the attraction enhances the scenes and stories, seamlessly blending with the physical sets and their environments.
So there are screens, but they blend, like they just completely merge into each other and work out really well.
Everybody joked about Universal like everything was screens, right? It was just like screen. But Disney's doing the same thing now.
Yeah.
I mean, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, it was just all screens.
Yeah, pretty much. I prefer the original, sorry. I prefer the Great Movie Ride.
I do too. They could have, this is a whole discussion, and if we start geeking out about the parks or whatever, like I would have preferred that they put Mickey and Minnie's in the animation building, the courtyard.
Yeah, that's just it. They have that thing is sitting there, and now they have like what the Star Wars thing is over there. I can't remember what it's called.
Launch Bay or whatever.
Launch Bay, yeah. They have that in there. Who cares? You could have used it. I mean, even for Monsters Inc., it's right next to Toy Story, so it made more sense to put it there. But yeah, they could have done something with it, like Mickey and Minnie's, and then updated the Great Movie Ride.
Yeah, because I mean, Disney. I mean, part of the issue with the Great Movie Ride was they didn't own all the movies at the time, and now they own most of the movies. And then just get rid of the ones you don't own if you don't want to pay the royalties or whatever. Replace it with something else. I mean, you own like freaking everything at this point. Yeah, so he's waiting to post. You can't really say anything about it, but it looks pretty
No, not yet.
It looks pretty damn impressive. It's interesting, this is a former Imagineer. I think it's Jim Schul, 33 years. He has his own website. Now I'll have to check out his website. But he said, before Islands of Adventure opened, I was invited by former Imagineering colleagues as they shared how they applied the lessons learned to the park for Comcast.
Which is what we talked about many times.
Yep. Decades later, that occurred again. Disney trains people, and then Universal Creative gives them work. And he's talking about just how impressive it is. I mean, he's just going on and on about Epic Universe.
It is. It's incredibly impressive. And then they have like the flying dragon drones. They have like you've seen the pictures, the videos of like the little dragon, they're gonna have walking around, dragons, stuff they promised for like Galaxy's Edge and stuff and didn't deliver. They're gonna deliver. Stuff like that.
Yeah, he's not happy with the Polynesian retheme either. A lot of decisions he hasn't been real happy with, right? And we're seeing more and more of this. Like a lot of people who I miss this too. I miss this.
Yeah, I know. Our daughter is still so mad about Maelstrom.
So for those of you who are listening and not watching, Maelstrom, they turned it into Frozen, but I missed the little hole in the wall.
Little waterfall, yeah.
The little waterfall.
The boat would stick out the end.
Yeah, I thought that was a great little touch, right? And they got rid of it. But he's not real happy about Frontierland Cars. A lot of people are not happy about it. And I think it's a change in attitude with Imagineering. It almost feels like a lot of the Imagineers that are there now. I mean, I hate to go back to the DEI thing, but it seems like a lot of them are younger and experienced. It seemed like during the pandemic, they were pushing out actually a lot of the older, more seasoned veterans.
It seemed that way. Like there were some people that, like why did they get gone? You know what I mean?
Right. But there's a huge brain drain. And that's what we talk about with Disney. It's not just in the theme parks. It's also in animation. It's in pretty much every aspect of the company that Disney has become such a generic corporate entity. It literally could be any other company that just happens to have the rights to the Disney IP. And there's so much institutional knowledge and institutional culture that has been lost even in the last 10 years at Disney. And people are like, why do you keep beating that drum? Because I'm like, it's true. You don't understand, especially if you haven't worked around that company, you haven't been around the company, you don't eat, sleep, breathe Disney, you didn't work, on projects for them for years, whatever. We saw the decline in real time, and it didn't become apparent to the general public until I think during the pandemic, after the pandemic, just how bad things were.
And then, but that's also when they promised a bunch of stuff and walked it all back. Epcot was supposed to get all kinds of Mary Poppins ride and all this other kind of stuff, and they just walked that back. Some of it I thought was good. Yeah, other things like the retheme of Spaceship Earth. Well, I think Spaceship Earth needs some retheming. Some of the things they were choosing, I was like, you're going too girl powery on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, so it might be a good thing. I mean, they said they got rid of the Stories Matter group. They were the ones who were responsible, I think, for a lot of the dumb decisions with the ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls being taken out, the gendered language being taken out. I think they were the ones who pushed for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and apparently Tiana's Bayou Adventure, the animatronics are breaking already.
They've been breaking down.
That's the thing. The more complicated things are, the more they break. But like, I guess I saw a video, and I can't find the clip. I saw a video the other day that the Lewis animatronic was already, the head was like tearing. It was already like coming off. And I think that's the thing. Like, people don't mind change at Disney. The problem is the changes they've been making, save for a few, have been lesser. That's it. If you're going to, like Walt always talked about plussing something, like if you're going to replace an attraction, you have to replace it with something as good, if not better, that especially something that's really beloved. And that was what a lot of the backlash was with Tiana's. It wasn't like we're so attached to Splash Mountain, but it was the narrative around the reason they were doing it was a lie. We're changing it because racism. It's like, no, you're doing it because you think princess merch is going to sell better. Let's be honest. At least be honest here. You didn't just pull that concept.
Well, they kept trying and trying and trying. And contrary to some people's narrative, they kept trying. I can tell you for a fact.
Yeah.
That was a long-standing rumor that they kept putting. And every time it would come up, people would be mad about it, and then the rumor would get put away. And then as soon as they could leverage something to make it so that if you said anything, you're a terrible person, they took it, because that's what they've been trying to do this thing for a while.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, cool, we can just bust this out. And that's the thing too, is that like Disney will actually work on different ideas. They'll blue sky stuff. They'll sit on them for a decade, 2 decades. I mean, that's what happened with Monsters Inc. That was actually, I mean, people are kind of like, why are you doing Monsters Inc. now? I'm like, well, yeah. Monsters Inc., that coaster, that was talked about like freaking 15 years ago.
Well, I don't understand why they're doing Cars. I mean, that wasn't one that I heard about before too much, but like that. No one cares about Cars. Let's be honest here. They have the Cars Land and stuff in Disneyland, but for the most part, people just don't care about Cars.
Yeah.
They just don't.
No, they don't. I think because they're looking for another e-ticket.
I think they're going to try to bring Cars back is probably what they're going to try to do.
Probably. I mean, they did what, Planes? That was like the direct to.
Because he made the comment that they were going to take their IP they had and try to make more movies with that IP. So I'm more inclined to think that they're going to try to push Cars again, which is why they're trying to push it into the Magic Kingdom.
Well, they have 5 Toy Story movies and a Buzz Lightyear movie. So I mean, I could totally see them being like, Cars, because Cars, where all the money came from Cars was the merchandising. Like the Cars toys back in the day sold like hotcakes, and even kids that didn't like the movies themselves, I thought were boring as hell.
Yeah, Squid King wanted to leave.
I was literally thinking about this the other day. So one of the very first, it wasn't the first, but one of the first movies I took my son to was actually Cars, and he was very little. I mean, he was a toddler, but I thought it would hold his attention, right? Because he loved, stuff like Roly Poly Oly, and he loved, watching, different, Power Rangers, stuff like that. He loved that kind of stuff. I took him to Cars. We got about halfway through it. He got bored. He wanted to leave. Mm-hmm. It's like there's too much talking.
His first movie was Curious George.
It was Curious George. That's right. So we left, and I remember we went to, they had an arcade in the lobby, believe it or not, at this movie theater. And then like some kid like pushed him out of the way to use a crane machine or something. I'm like, you little shit. But yeah, he got bored. And I remember you were like, why'd you guys come back early? I'm like, he didn't want to watch a movie. Mm-hmm. I took him to, I'm like, bored. And he was the target audience. I'm like, little kid, Cars with googly eyes, that's the target audience. And he's just like, yeah, I'm bored. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I'd rather watch Ultraman.
They've done other things since, but they weren't popular. But they're gonna, flush everything else down the toilet for Cars, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and that's a travesty what they're doing to the rivers of America. I mean, this is the thing. This is what's so disappointing. People are like, "What? I don't really care." I'm like, no, because look, the Disney theme parks are like pure Americana, right? And the more you take Walt, and at least like Walt Disney did not open Disney World. Obviously, he died before it opened, but his ideas were there. He talked endlessly about Disney World and Epcot, which of course
Epcot wasn't what he wanted to do.
They were
a whole other story.
But the spirit of Walt, I think, was there, because what they wound up doing with Epcot was turning it into basically a permanent World's Fair, which he would have. I think he would have liked. You know, I think you would have liked it.
Well,
but,
it was more World's Fair when it opened than it is now. But you know,
yeah,
here's the
now
thing
it's just
about-
an IP farm.
Here's the thing about Rivers of America. The Rivers of America, I get it. I get they want to use like the Tom Sawyer Island and stuff because let's be honest here, most people don't even go over there. I get it. But you can still take some of Rivers of America and out and still leave part of it in. There's no reason that you shouldn't take the entire waterway out, at least in front of the Haunted Mansion. And they're just being ridiculous. But that's all. That's neither here nor there.
You could do a partial hysterectomy on the Rivers of America.
That's right. That's right. You could just leave half of it there.
Right. Because at least you got the waterway. It's functional. So this I saw it too. I mean, since we're talking about all this stuff, and we can speak to this because we've done it. We were on the other side of it. This is Chris Wakefield. He says, "Can we finally admit that Disney lifestylers, mommy bloggers, and travel agents had a significant hand in precipitating the rapid decline in Disney's standards? They're pretending like everything was perfect and magical just to feed you all content and sell you overpriced vacations."
Yeah, but here's the thing too. They don't understand. If you're on the media list, like one, they give you a list of questions you're allowed to ask. Two, you're not allowed to say anything negative, or you might not be on the media list. Like there was even a blogger that was telling people, if you want to be on Disney's media list, here's how you stay positive and say all nice things. So they bring you in. And I can tell you, well, you can tell them for a fact that if you say something like, "Oh, Toy Story Land was too hot,"
Yes,
that got you pushback.
that was literally. I only had 2 complaints about Toy Story Land. It was too hot because there's no shade, and
At the time, yeah.
And the food options were practically non-existent. They had the Woody's Lunchbox, which was like a just walk-up quick service thing, but they were going to have like a full. I guess they're building it, or they did the barbecue place.
Yeah, they did. It's okay.
Yeah, but like there weren't any food options when it first opened, right? So it was like, okay, so you go get your Pop-Tart and your whatever chicky nuggies, or it's like, not that people are going to go to Toy Story. I mean, plus it was narrow too. It was very like narrow, so it was like,
it is very narrow.
But I mean, my complaints were very minimal. I'm like, Hollywood Studios needs something. This is a nice something for now, and it's good for the kids and the Slinky Dog.
But it's too hot.
But it's too hot.
That got you in trouble.
That got me in trouble. That's not why I got removed from the list. There was a whole issue with a former partner of ours. But no, I'll talk about this quickly because I don't want to get myself in too much trouble. But most of the Disney influencers are partially bankrolled by travel agents and travel agencies who are in turn bankrolled by Disney. Disney
Well, at least
basically.
they were. I don't know if they still are.
Yeah, I don't know if that's still the case. When we did it, okay, so we'll put a little disclaimer there. When we did it pre-pandemic, Disney would pay the travel agencies, and then the travel agencies would pay the influencers or sponsor their trips or give them whatever, and Disney would give the travel agencies comp money for advertising, or they give them a whole bunch of points that they could use to book trips for influencers to promote their travel. So the whole thing. So basically what I'm saying is all these Disney blogs, most of them were in a roundabout way actually run by Disney
Yeah.
because they were the ones who were sponsoring all the trips.
Pretty much. I mean, they were given at least comp to pay back some, like sometimes like, thousands a month anyway.
Oh yeah. We actually had to disclaim that. I remember toward the end, I think they were getting in trouble for that. So maybe they're not doing it that way anymore. But I remember we had to actually disclaim that Disney was comping us for stuff in our social media posts. I'm like, that's weird. That's new. Okay. But this guy says, yeah, this is off base. These types of things have been around forever. If anything, the rise of social media access to different tourism activities at Disney exposes failing standards far more than they ever would have before. Chris Wakefield says, except I literally watched for a decade as influencers and lifestylers yelled at people online for complaining.
Yes, we still do. I can tell you.
Yeah.
I'm on the Disney blog, different Disney blogs and different Disney groups, and they still do. If you bring up a valid point, like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm not trying to complain, but this happened, and it's something like really like crap or whatever. Well, you're just negative. How dare you? More for me. And they will literally descend upon you if you do not have anything but glorious, joyful things to say about Disney. They will literally bully you.
It's cult-like. He's saying listen to countless travel agent podcasts that flat out lie to their audience about what you experience on Disney vacation. This person says, no, it's all Disney. All those people lose access to previews if they speak negatively. That is true. Disney is a corporation. They can take all the blame. It's okay to say Disney has been garbage for years. Corporations don't have feelings. He says, not an excuse. As a journalist who has reported on theme parks, I think I'm pretty safe in saying you shouldn't lie to your audience just to get access from Disney. You lose credibility with your audience, and the parks are worse off for it. Yes, the problem is you might lose your audience, but you're going to lose your free vacations. You're going to lose your free trips and
Free cupcakes.
your free
Don't
cupcakes.
forget the cupcakes.
And the problem is too, is that like they do try to present the best version of a new thing, right? Like, I mean, you talk about the cupcakes, like they literally will stage a place to film the cupcake.
Well, I was going to say, you don't actually get to eat the cupcakes, though.
No, because the cupcake
Sometimes
melts.
you do, very rarely.
It melts in the Florida heat before you can get to it. Or if you eat, every damn thing you eat, you have to take pictures of it, and you got to take good pictures of it, and you got to talk about at length about why.
And you have to hashtag it properly.
You have to hashtag it properly. And this ham sandwich is the best ham sandwich I have ever had. My God, did they make it with Miss Piggy's ass? This is just
it's so
delicious.
Great. And because they will, because they will literally look over your shoulder to make sure you're writing it correctly, tagging it correctly, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I think he's absolutely right in this. I think there was this whole thing, and it's over now. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It's people are over it now, and I've watched a massive decline in the numbers, and you watch the numbers more closely than I do.
People don't care.
Yeah, Disney blogs, Disney YouTube channels, people are done with it. They're not even checking out videos on it. They're not reading articles about it because they're not going. They don't want to go. It's a lot of people feel like they've been priced out. They feel like Disney has been skipping out on things. They've been taking things away. They're the freaking lightning lane debacle. I mean, it's not good. And then you've got Epic Universe, which is like, yeah, this is what Disney would have done 10 or 15 years ago, and we're giving it to you. So it's not going to end well for them, I don't think. And then they're spreading themselves thin with these cruise ships, which I don't.
Well, yeah, we didn't even mention their Lightning Lane Premier passes. People are like having shock because they're hitting the top price range. Okay, these are the prices per guest per day, because right now it's their busy season going into spring break, and you have like different like cheerleader and stuff like that going on. And they're going to charge top dollar because the parks are so full. People are going to pay it because then they'll be able to get onto rides. This is on top of your ticket. You know, your ticket might be like $180. That's on top of this.
Yeah.
And these are the top ranges they had said before they were going to go. And if they sell out, Disney's just going to take that as, we can raise these prices.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And the reason that Disney has been emboldened and enabled to do this is because people kept paying it. And I actually do blame, I'm with him, influencers and travel agents and whatever, because sometimes there's a long tail. Sometimes people plan their vacations multiple years out. We had a lot of people taking vacations, Disney trips, with stimmy money and what do they call it, like spite travel or revenge travel.
A lot of people get their income tax refunds. They say, my Disney money.
They literally send out deals and stuff like that during tax refund time.
Yep.
Right. It's a thing. They had for a while. They had that savings account you could do. It was like a.
Oh yeah.
Like a
you
Disney.
You can still do that at your own banks and stuff. I think like vacation clubs and stuff. But they had like a Disney, that you could put money every month to pay for your trip or whatever.
Yeah, I noticed
that though.
They don't send us. They used to send us stuff all the time, trying to get us to do like vacation club and buy this timeshare, do this, do that. Oh, hey, I am really surprised we never got that Club 33 invite that they never sent because we were there so much. I mean.
We didn't make enough money.
No, we didn't make enough. Oh my God, Club 33. But yeah, so I think that the whole bottom has fallen out of it. So that coupled with the fact that Universal is apparently going to give people what they've wanted, which is that quality experience for the amount of money that they're spending, and it's actually less than Disney. They're going to clean up. They're absolutely going to clean up.
A friend works there, and she was just talking to me today about the stuff they're doing and how impressive it is.
Yeah. So, and I think, if anything, my hope, I mean, this is the thing, like we talk about Disney all the time. I don't want to see Disney collapse. I think Disney is an important piece of Americana. Disney needs a leadership change. They need a cultural change. You need to go back to Walt's vision and hell.
Well, they're going to get a leadership change, but I don't know if it's going to be a good one.
I don't think it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be more of the same. I think they need to get, the corporate minded people out of the way and I'm not saying just do every brain fart that comes to mind, right? But they need to have a balance. I almost feel like they need to have a creative head and a business head like they had with Walt and Roy, because the two worked really well. Like Walt dreamed it, and then Roy figured out how to do it. Even if it was the most ridiculous thing he's ever heard, he's like, okay, fine, Walt, we'll figure out a way to make this work.
But
and not
unfortunately,
get arrested.
investors just want things done cheaply, so they think they can just print money.
Yeah, and that was the worst thing that ever happened to Disney, I think, was taking that. It's been public for a very long time, but it has become a very much corporation. And Iger is he's just a corporate dude. He's like, was it Sorrento from
He's just a puppet.
Ready Player One?
Yeah, basically.
yeah.
You can see him doing stuff
He
like
collects all the IP, but he doesn't give a shit about any of it except for the stuff he actually had a hand in. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens with Disney. I'm hoping they get humbled. I'm hoping that they're forced to refocus, at least in the theme park space. But the Disney we knew 10 years ago, it does not exist.
No.
It does not exist anymore. And that's sad. It really is sad. Are we going to wrap this up?
Yep.
All right. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.